You know, a lot of this comes from the legislature, and it's really geographically from a couple of areas. It comes from Los Angeles, it comes from the Bay Area. Those are the two areas that primarily come up with this goofy stuff. And those are the two areas you'd have to educate because they have the vast majority of the votes. We know geographically that Northern California has about 1.2, 1.4 million people, where Southern California's got 36 million, right? 30 million. So what we need to do is we need to change the representative ratio so that we have some say over our own lives, because we're the ones that want to, okay, yeah, I wasn't going there exactly, but yeah, I'm for that too. And what we've done is the Jefferson Formation Committee has started a lawsuit against the state of California for lack of representation and dilution of vote. Now, mind you, this has nothing to do with state split, because you can't split a state judicially. It's unconstitutional. But what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate that Northern California has no representation in the state legislature to prevent these things from happening to begin with, so that we have to fight them and spend $50 million of everybody's money. And what we want to do is we want to take California to a governmental model where every single county has equal representation in the state legislature of California, and where no county has less than one assembly person, because that's where revenue bills issue from. In order to do that, we need a state assembly person for, say, 1 to 3,000 people. And the state of California is going to go crazy because that means they'll have 14,000 assembly people. Now, when you finish laughing, think about this. How could the gun groups or the anti-gun groups bribe 14,000 assembly people? How could they even bribe 7,000 plus one in order to pass a bill? It would be impossible, because those legislators would now represent communities. Party politics would have less influence in them, because you and your neighbors would control. We'd have an assembly person just about for the people in this room. And if that guy passed a law that you didn't like, it would be cheap and easy to get rid of him instead of trying to get rid of the law. So instead of spending $50 million to educate the people of Los Angeles to something that they won't be educated about ever, because they don't know how we live and they don't know how important these things are, and they probably never know. So instead of exhausting the resources of Gun Owners of California and National Rifle Association when they need that money to do really important work in court, what we need to do is change the representative ratio in the state of California so that Northern California has some and we can fight this stuff to begin with. So if you know, support the lawsuit, because we're fixing to file that, and with a ninth justice who is a conservative, thanks to the National Rifle Association and groups just like them, we're going to win if we can afford to pay for the lawsuit. We're going to win.
I have to assume that answered your question, because it answered about 10 in my head as he was talking. So